It's the regular meeting of July 12, 2021 of the Gurnee Village Board. Call to order and roll call, please.
Thorstensen.
Here.
Woodside.
Here.
Ross.
Here.
Garner.
Here.
O'Brien.
Present.
Balmas.
Present.
6 present.
We all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So now we're going to have the consent agenda as presented. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee Garner. Roll call, please.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Woodside.
Yes.
Ross. Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Would you like to read that into the record, please?
Item number 1, approval of the minutes from the June 21st, 2021 meeting. Item number 2, approval of ordinance 2021-46, accepting the final plat of GW Property Subdivision. Item number 3, approval of a fireworks permit for Gurnee Days on August 7, 2021. Item number 4, approval of the following request for proposals, bid dates. A, July 27, 2021 for the Old Grand Avenue Water Main Phase 2 Replacement Project, First Street to Fire Station 1, and B, August 5, 2021 for the Public Works Main Building Trench Drain Replacement Project. Item number 5, approval of payroll for period ending June 18, 2021 in the amount of $895,076.84. Item number 6, approval of payroll for period ending July 2, 2021 in the amount of $866,767.12. Item number 7, approval of bills for period ending July 12, 2021 in the amount of $1,776,448.73.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Ross, second by trustee O'Brien. Roll call, please.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Next item is petitions and communications. There are none.
None tonight.
On to D for reports. Presentation by Communications Supervisor Phil Brunel. Acknowledgement of Gurnee Police Department's transition to the Starcom 21 radio network. Phil?
Good evening, Mayor and the Village Board, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to give a brief history and update on the benefits of Starcom 21 Communications Network. Starcom 21 is an interoperable digital trunked communication statewide voice system. The network is owned and operated and maintained by Motorola Solutions under a partnership with the state of Illinois. It was built to public safety standards and is available to both the government and non-government agencies. Besides public safety, it's hospitals, it has healthcare centers, the National Weather Service uses it, State's Attorney's Office, coroners and such. There's approximately 900 agencies that utilize it with 45,000 subscribers statewide. In 2016, the police department purchased 75 handheld Starcom radios. There were two decisions made at that time. The first one was to purchase dual band handheld radios so we can maintain using our Gurnee standalone radio system, and also to utilize Starcom on a part-time basis. The reason that we were going to use Starcom on a part-time basis was that it was still in its build-out phase in Lake County. Starcom has been building out for years, and Lake County was kind of towards the back end of the build-out. So at the time, the decision was to utilize it part-time while our current radio network was still running full steam ahead without any problems. So since then, the other thing we did was The decision was made to use what we call counselettes. What counselettes are basically, for talking into the system from the dispatch center, are basically, in layman's terms, a mobile radio talking into the system. The way we talk into the system is called K-core to M-core, and M-core is tying into the system versus a T1 line to Downers Grove. So at the time, based on the thought they were going to utilize it for part-time, they decided to hold off on that expense because it is significant. So utilizing the system in a part-time basis, at that time, it was $18 per radio per month versus $36. So it cost us about $17,000 a year to connect in the system part-time while the build-out was going on. Last summer, we moved Zion Police Department over to Starcom full-time, and that has gone without a hitch, so we're happy about that. Our current radio system to this date is a standalone single-channel system with limited coverage. The coverage for the Gurnee system just covers basically Gurnee, about 13 square miles, nothing more, nothing less. The backbone equipment, which is the hardware, is at end of life now. We knew at some point when we bought Starcom equipment that there'd be a switch. We'd go full-time from the Gurnee system to the Starcom system, and the time has come. The Gurnee system is operating. Spare parts are difficult to get. Service is a little bit tough on it. And one of the other big things we're dealing with are officer safety issues. And you'd say, why are we having problems with officer safety issues? Is because of that word of social media. So what we're finding is that some of these social media sites are posting verbatim our radio traffic from incidents that we have in town in real time. And this has given us officer safety issues on the street. The current system has no encryption capabilities. We'd have to build out a new system. The benefits of the Starcom system, obviously, is encryption technology. There is no capital cost to build out a standalone radio system. If we were to build out a standalone radio system currently, at today's dollars with encryption, we're probably looking close to $1 million. The interoperability is the number one thing. Being able to communicate with anyone on a Starcom radio network statewide is the key. Like I said, there's 900 agencies and 45,000 subscribers. The majority of Lake County is on the Starcom network currently. We're one of the last to transition to the full-time piece of it. Like I said early on, what we had is when they made the decision back in 2016, there was about 3 to 4 receive sites built in Lake County. We're at 11 currently. That's the complete build-out unless they do some more. We're fortunate to have one right by the tollway building in the center of the village, which makes coverage for Gurnee excellent. What they have done too is, on the Gurnee side, on our standalone Gurnee radio system, we have one channel to utilize. On our Starcom network, we have 7 talk groups. Basically, those are channels that we utilize 7 days a week any way we want to utilize them. We utilize them when there's a major incident. We can take the incident and keep it on one channel or one talk group and move our non-essential radio traffic to another. If we have incoming agencies from outside of Gurnee, we have them move right onto our talk groups, and the interoperability is seamless. The other piece, obviously, is the encryption technology. The social media sites will not be able to listen to our radio traffic in real time. The other piece of it is, transparency. I know people wonder, what are the police hiding, but it's not. We have transparency. They can, through the FOIA process, FOIA our recorded audio traffic on all of our stuff, just like what they can do now. They just can't hear it real time. So those are basically the benefits that we have in the Starcom system versus the Gurnee system. The Gurnee system has served us well, but the Starcom system is where the future is going to be. The cost of transition to the full-time is going to double. We're going to go from $17,000 a year to $34,000 per year. We budgeted, and it was approved in this year's budget and fiscal year. So we'd like to move forward with going to Starcom on a full-time basis. That's all I have. Tried to keep it brief and not too technical. If anyone has any questions, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Phil. So, somebody have a question from the board? There being none, done, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, no old business.
Correct.
And new business, number 1, approval of ordinance 2021
47.
granting a special use permit pursuant to the Gurnee zoning ordinance for a special sports instruction facility, specifically an indoor fitness training facility on property located at 900 Tri-State Parkway, Suite 900. Ed?
Sure. So you may remember that CrossFit UXO was in front of the board a while back, looking to locate over on Lakeside Drive. They're before you tonight. They're looking to move 2 buildings over, so 2 buildings to the east. The reason for that is they rent their current spot. They're looking to purchase a suite in the 900 Tri-State building. Being that they're moving, that requires them to come back before the village board for a new special use permit. So they were before the Planning and Zoning Board on June 16th to discuss a proposal. Nothing's changing as far as the operation. There was one gentleman that attended the meeting that's in the suite next door to the proposed location, concerned about potential noise from the facility. Owners stated that they're agreeable to installing some sound dampening material between the 2 suites so that noise won't be an issue. They haven't had any noise issues from any of the neighbors that adjoin their current facility since they've been there, so they don't expect that to be an issue going forward. So it did receive a unanimous favorable recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Board with a couple conditions attached. One is that the gym can only be used by UXO's coaches or instructors outside of scheduled class times. Second is that if parking is an issue, they will install 6 parallel parking spaces along a west drive aisle and convert that to one-way circulation north to south. And the third was that sound dampening material be added to the walls between suites 900 and 800. So they were agreeable to those 3 requirements. Petitioners are here before you tonight, but as I said, this is simply moving 2 buildings to the east for them.
All right, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by trustee Garner, second by trustee O'Brien. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Item number 2, approval of ordinance 2021,
48.
temporarily amending Chapter 6, Section 6-55 of the Gurnee Municipal Code to permit the carryout of mixed drinks and single servings of wine under Class 1 and 2 liquor licenses.
Sure. So Ellen's going to walk us through this quick. She's been working with the police department and Attorney Winter and the business community on this, so.
Okay, thank you. So the amendment that we're proposing tonight basically changes Section 6, the liquor portion of the village's code, to temporarily modify the definitions of Class 1 and Class 2 liquor licenses, which are primarily restaurant. There's some Six Flags, there's some Great Wolf, there's a few others, but primarily restaurants. So under the COVID-19 protocols of the past 15 months or so, the carryout and delivery of first packaged liquor and then mixed drinks was permitted back as early as, April and then changing in June. So on June 2nd of last year, the carryout of delivery of mixed drinks and wine was permitted for a year. And then as of January 2nd of this year, it was extended to January 2024. So tonight, we are obviously wanting our restaurants to take advantage of that long extension, but the way that our classifications are defined compared to the way the state defines them, not all of them can. So the proposal this evening is to modify and very explicitly add language to both Class 1 and Class 2 to permit the carryout and delivery of mixed drinks and wine. Without this, effective immediately, all of our restaurants, except for those 4 that have Class 2 licenses, will be no longer able to do that. So this has been a good collaboration with police. I think this is a good solution. It's a temporary provision which will sunset on January 3rd of 2024, completely consistent with the state legislation. Attorney Winter and Chief Smith and the team were actively involved. I think it's fairly self-explanatory, but we will be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board?
I have just one. I saw in your write-up that there was no additional police activity as a result of the carryout during the pandemic. And if I'm understanding correctly, if we don't approve this ordinance, then we would be disadvantaging our restaurants to something that's permitted elsewhere in the state and in neighboring communities, right?
Right, that's correct. It's really been a success all the way around, I think, from all perspectives. The restaurants have relied on it as a revenue generator. The customers have come to appreciate it, and it really has been no cost to us.
Thank you.
Anything else? Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee Ballmer, second by trustee Thorstensen. Roll call, please.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 3, approval of engineering division's recommendation to award alternate 2 demolition and restoration of 4609, 4611, 4617, and 4625 Old Grand Avenue to the low bidder, Campanella and Sons, at a cost of $95,472,000. Okay.
Sure. So you had a memo from our assistant village engineer, Nick Leach, on this. Everybody's out of those buildings. So as we talked about before, the ultimate plan is to get those out of there and turn to green space. We solicited bids, received a good amount of responses. We had 2 alternates. So the first plan was removal of everything down to 4 inches. Alternate 2 was removal of everything down to 6 inches to give us some additional topsoil, just to let the vegetation set better on the site for when we do have floods and it's impacted by water. So looking at those and looking at what we had in the budget, we had $100,000 in the budget. The low bidder for alternate 2 was Campanella and Sons. There was a little caveat that Nick mentioned in his memo. There was a couple documents missing from Campanella. It was accidental on their part. We called them, they had the documents to us the next day. So obviously have a good working relationship with Campanella. They've played a huge role in the past when it comes to protecting those structures in the floodplain, as well as other road and sewer projects that we've had in town. So staff's recommendation is to award this to Campanella and Sons at $95,472. No work would take place until after Gurnee days. The plan is to remove the buildings and the parking lots, close those curbs off, turn the whole thing into grass, and then next budget year, we could talk about whether we want to run some sidewalks through there as an extension of Welton Plaza or leave it vacant property. So, but first things first, everybody's out, so we need to get the buildings down.
Any discussion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by trustee Thorstensen, second by trustee Garner. Roll call, please.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross. Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Item number 4, approval of purchasing 1 year of Cisco SmartNet maintenance services from the state of Illinois, contract holder CDWG, in the amount of $49,297.22.
Sure. So the next 2 items on the agenda are IS related. So our network administrator, Ryan Nelson, is going to walk us through these after Chris gives them an intro maybe. The first one is an annual maintenance contract that we do on a regular basis. The second one is some new equipment, and that's related to Fire Station 3 and some equipment that's end of life and some maintenance support for that. So
Thank you for the opportunity to bring these items forward. I usually get up here and talk about the people on our team. Ryan Nelson's been our network administrator for years and years. He's now the assistant director.
Oh.
And good opportunity for him to come in and get some FaceTime with all of you. I'll walk through the SmartNet renewal and then maybe hand it over to him for the equipment purchase. The SmartNet renewal and the equipment purchase are both timed to coincide with the end of Cisco's fiscal year, which means that they're the most aggressive in trying to sell us things, and we get the best discounts. We realize these are expensive items, and we're trying to get the best pricing that we can. The maintenance renewal for this year is down from last year's amount. We had carved out some of the telephony and the security items and done a 5- and 3-year multi-year agreement for both of those earlier. I believe one was in January, one was in March, to cover those. So there was a little bit of a separation there with that carve-out. There is a portion of this that will be reimbursed by the ETSB, about $13,000. CDWG is the incumbent. They hold the state contract. They continue to good pricing and good service on it. You need to purchase this through a reseller, so it's a Cisco product purchased through CDW, and I believe it's in good shape for your consideration this evening.
Right, so are you going to, you want to do both, or do you want to separate?
We're amenable to either.
Why don't we just do this item number 4? Does anybody have any questions?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by trustee Ross, second by trustee Thorstensen. Roll call, please.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross. Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5, approval of purchasing new network switching and routing equipment for Fire Station Number 3, as well as replacement network router equipment and 5 years of associated Cisco SmartNet maintenance services from the state of Illinois. Contract holder CDWG for $65,215.05.
Ryan.
Oh, Ryan, there you go.
Good evening. We do need network equipment for the new fire station, so these would be new purchase items added to our environment. The switches would be 2 units, so they're dual units. Each one is survivable, so they're stacked into 1 unit. One can fail. If the one fails, equipment that's connected to it, of course, would not be connected anymore, but the other one continues. Along with that, there's the router replacement program. We have 5 routers planned. 1 new one would go into the Fire Station 3, and the other 4 would replace units currently on the network. They'd all be the same model, so we have consistency with manageability. The routers that are elsewhere on the network that are nearing end of life that would be replaced with those 4 other units were originally purchased 2013, 2014, so they've been in service for a great many years. We expect with all of this equipment that we'd get 7 to 10 years of life out of it. Maintenance and software updates are included, prepaid. There's typically annual sort of contracts. We just did the other SmartNet for other items, but this is prepaid for 5 years. It's included in the price. And bundling the large purchase of the switches and routers for Fire Station 3 and the replacement program, along with the SmartNet purchase, got us a 55% off list discount, which exceeded the state contract price. So it was a good discount. It was a good opportunity that CDW and Cisco offered us. Happy to answer any of the questions.
All right, any questions from the board? There being none, is there a motion?
Mayor?
Oh, sorry.
One quick question. I think it's not exactly related to the router.
Okay.
But in my line of work, if there's something that went wrong, you want to make sure it never goes wrong anywhere else. And so the one question I have is, I'm going to look at Chris also, is do we have our connectivity coming into the Fire Station 3 at 2 different walls? Thank you.
Yes, so Fire Station 3 is planned to have, right out of the gate, point-to-point networks connecting from Fire Station 3 back to the water tower and another location. The router that would be installed at Fire Station 3 provides yet another alternate backup provided by a Comcast internet link. So ultimately, there'll be at least 3 methods, if not other. There is a future fiber link planned. There's a path that would go out off to the Heather Ridge Water Tower. It goes along the, I don't know what the
Manchester. Yep.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee O'Brien, second by trustee Garner. Roll call, please.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Woodside.
Aye.
Ross. Garner.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
6 aye.
Motion carries. Public comments? There being none, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee Garner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
No record. 25 minutes.